I like people who are willing to buck convention and stand up for their local communities. It's exactly what Liberal MP Jason Falinski is doing for his bit of the Northern Beaches in Sydney, and he joins us now. Jason, thank you for the chat, mate. You guys, of course, went through a massive lockdown last year. You were robbed of Christmas, so much more. Yet the people in your part of Sydney are locked down just as hard as everywhere with the exception of Fairfield. Can't go to work, can't go to school. By their own admission, the New South Wales government has said that mystery cases is the only thing they're worried about. And in your area, that's zero. So what exactly is the logic of zero cases, but you can't leave the house?
Mate, it's a good question. I mean, and it's not just the Northern Beaches, it's the Central Coast, it's Wollongong, it's the Blue Mountains, it's the North Shore, it's North Sydney. I mean, the list goes on and on. And, I turn on the television every day, I read the paper every day, and I keep hearing how, this variant is so much more dangerous. But what people aren't saying is that the lockdown in the eastern suburbs did work, because they also haven't had any community transmission in Woollahra, in the city of Sydney, and in Randwick for the last 8 days.
Now, we all know that Sydney's like every other city. There's cities within cities, and there's, the beaches, the hills, the Shire, the Southwest, all of those things, right? But the thing that is the thing that is not about parochialism is that you lived in an area that got shut off from the rest of the world when the rest of the city could just go on and do what it wanted, right? Because there were zero cases in lots of other local government areas. That's what makes sense. So my view is, if for whatever reason, touch wood, there was a blowout in the Northern Beaches, then okay, everyone goes back inside. But the idea that you can't take your kids to school, and every time this gets raised, the people in charge just kind of bat it away. So are they saying anything differently behind the scenes to one of their own, other than that we're seeing on telly?
No, mate, you know as much as I do. I mean, the point you make, Paul, is a really good one, which is when you listen to some of these instant talking head experts that have proliferated over the last year or so. I mean, Australia is, tell you what, we do have a pandemic of, and that's instant experts. If you listen to what they say at the moment, what they're basically saying is it only takes one case, and you might have it and you don't know that you have it. And the only logical conclusion, the president of the AMA has said, we need indefinite lockdowns. Now, some of these people need to step up to the camera on shows like yours and argue what they're actually saying, which is that they believe we should be locked down all the time, everywhere, and everyone. And that's that is a change from suppressing the virus to suppressing people. And I think that's a very serious development in our democracy.
Well, and also it's this thing where, today, a heart-wrenching story out of the Kids Helpline that there is a spike in calls about kids who are being abused right now. So imagine how courageous a kid has to be to reach out at a time like this. I repeat, one of the reasons they have to go to school is because teachers have mandatory reporting if they see signs of abuse. But they say, oh, well, it's parents mingling. The kids are fine. There's no issue with the kids, but it's the mingling that's the problem. Okay, Sydney was good enough to host the Olympics way back in the year 2000. I reckon the people of the Northern Beaches, the Blue Mountains or anywhere else would be able to work out how to maybe slightly stagger the kids' drop-off, make sure that you don't have parents mingling around. I mean, there's some pretty easy solutions that help ease the pressure of what's happening right now in homes, especially the homes where the kids are trapped.
Mate, it's what you say. If you lock people down and you don't have the other side of the equation, which is the kids not going to school, the parents not going to work, and the business is going bankrupt, then it becomes a pretty easy calculus. It's only when you understand the costs of what we're doing that suddenly your decision-making changes.
Yeah, look, Jason, good on you. Good on you for fighting, mate. And look, I know it ruffles some feathers, but who cares, right? You're actually representing a community that's already copped it a bit. Good on you, mate.
Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Jason Falinski, the member for Mackellar there on the Northern Beaches.